Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. I am constantly on eBay and I've recently uncovered 6 ugly watches. And tonight we're going to be looking at them and giving them a little bit of a roasting. So let us begin. The first watch on my list I found thanks to one of you who mentioned that Samsung at one point in time made regular watches. So I put out a search for them to see what was out there, and I found something interesting. So this first watch is a Korean-made Samsung gold-plated 2000 mid-sized watch. This is a Samsung quartz watch. It's called the Samsung Noble Sapphire. So yes, it does have a sapphire crystal. It has a 33mm case, and I found it listed on eBay for $55. And that was a buy now listing. It features a nice Bauhaus style dial, a numeric 12 o'clock indicator, a round date window at the 6 o'clock, and super thin Dauphine hands. There's a black band around the edge of the dial, a nice minimal case, and great looking lugs. So why is this watch on my ugly list? Look at those hands. Someone took hands off of a 10mm ladies watch and stuck them on this thing. The ends of those hands and the start of the indices are in 2 different time zones. Even your mama would fit between those hands and the markers. I swear I've seen these hands before. Oh yeah. The last watchmaker that serviced this watch accidentally put the hands in the dryer. Are these even hands, or did someone cut the hands off and just went with the counterweights? The sad thing is, this would be a great looking watch if it had actual hands on it. It comes in a great vintage size and you really can't mess with that price. The next watch on my list is a cartoon Illuminati watch. This watch is the Mazda Rotary Engine Watch History of Rotary Limited Edition RX7 Seiko. This is an interesting watch. It showed up on my rotary watch search, however the listing says it's a Seiko. Apparently this watch is the result of a bunch of Mazda design geniuses. It has a capsule-shaped case, the edge of the dial bulges in at the sides, there are dots and dashes cut into the bezel, and these are filled with a blue color. The lugs are curved and bulge out at their ends. The dial is also blue and has a curving triangle in the center of it. Inside that is a small dial that houses the hour and minutes hands. Interestingly enough, it has crown guards. So why is this watch on my ugly list? Because this watch is ripped from the cartoons. I mean, this is a full-on cartoon watch. Look at the lugs. Those are straight up Toy Story Martian style. I feel like this watch is the Illuminati's attempt to recruit children. Get them while they're young, am I right? Maybe this was designed during one of Mazda's take your kids to work days. You'll notice Mazda was too embarrassed to put their name on the dial of this watch. I'm assuming it was a promotional piece. Do not put our name on that. But boss, it's a promotional piece. How can we promote our brand without putting our name on it? Exactly. If it were green, it would look just like Plankton. Good thing it has crown guards, being the tool watch that this thing is. And it's listed for $680. Wow. To be fair, this is kind of a fun watch, maybe at about $50 though. The next watch I have is a Texas Instruments watch. This is a vintage LED watch. The case is tonneau shaped and all black and textured. There's a chrome frame around the LED display. This watch is on a leather strap. And at the time of making this video, it has one bid of $29. It's kind of cool seeing a watch made by Texas Instruments. So why is this on my ugly list? The transition from case to watch strap couldn't possibly be any more jarring. It looks like someone taped a watch head onto a leather strap. This thing is like watching a horror movie and suddenly it becomes a rom-com. If you took a kid's transforming robot watch and put it on a $100 Shell Cordovan strap, it would look similar to this. This is what happens when a $5 Wish version of Star Wars has to attend a formal event. I mean, if you're gonna be wearing a tuxedo, probably ought to put this thing on a leather strap, right? I feel like the watch head itself is decent enough, but it really isn't conducive to any kind of strap. So maybe just make this thing an LED pocket watch. The next watch on my list is a Vostok. I've seen a few of these on eBay. They have tonneau-shaped thin cases, wide batten markers, a nice looking red seconds hand, and a arrow-tipped hour hand. It seems at one point in time it featured 200 meters of water resistance. I absolutely love the description on this listing. The numbers of stones is 17. Anti-shock device of the balance unit. Overhead signs and arrows are filled with fluorescent paint of variable action. That's my favorite kind of loom. Organic glass. Oh, so the crystal is plant-based. Nice. The energy reserve of one spring plant is at least 33 hours. Wow, 33 hours for only one spring plant. That's great. I feel like this watch is the epitome of the paranoid man's tool watch. Make the bezel taller, we have to protect that crystal. Was the bezel made of repurposed grain silo parts? This is listed as seller refurbished. Yeah, someone glued a piece of metal pipe on a normal looking Vostok. This is actually a James Bond villain's watch. That isn't a bezel, it's a gun barrel. That bezel is really just there so in daylight you can put your eye against it and check out your loom. Is that all you've got, Vostok? I feel like if this was an Invicta, that bezel would be at least 3 times as tall. Somehow, even with that bezel, the crown still looks ridiculously large. For $200, I expect more. Bezel. Okay, whenever you hear me complain about terrible watch designs of the 1990s, picture this watch. The unnecessary outcroppings on the bezel, the rounded, bulging bracelet links, the blob-like case. I feel like an all-steel bezel is like an ultra-minimalist watch. It takes skill and artistry to really pull it off. This watch absolutely does not pull it off. The whole watch, except for the crown, looks like overweight organic material spray-painted silver. And don't feel bad, Seiko, even Omega was putting out terrible-looking pieces in the 1990s. These watches are the bell-bottoms of the 90s. The last watch that I have on my list is a Swatch Originals Scuba. This is a Scuba Swatch watch. Apparently these watches originally had 200 meters of water resistance. This piece features a translucent, maybe functional bezel, a fluorescent green dial, jumbo markers for the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. Those indices are cut into the dial so you can see the movement beneath it. It has large hands and a wavy pattern cut into its strap. This is a fun swatch, so why is it on my ugly list? This looks like a kid's watch made for adults. I would love to be on the diving excursion boat where everyone is wearing their Marathon G-SARs, Rolex Submariners, Omega 300s, and Seiko Prospexes, and some fool shows up with a bright plastic Swatch dive watch. Let me just set my clear plastic timing bezel. I feel like those indices were designed for 90-year-olds who have readers hanging around their necks. Alright, so there you have it, 6 watches that aren't so pretty that I found on eBay. Thanks for watching.